Vice President Joe Biden.
Well, I've got to be up front with you. I'm here to buy. Holy Lord. I tell you what, first of all, you see that guy standing back there, Don, raise your hand. Don's a professional. Don works for the administration. He now runs my shop, and I didn't realize that he was actually the unpaid staff for the mayor. I think I'm joking. Look, folks, you know, everybody talks about it and they mean it that Detroit's coming back. But it goes back a neighborhood at a time. I've been, and I'm from not a town nearly as big, but a town went through some really hard times called Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then in the town I moved to when I was a kid, it was on the balls of its heels, a place called Claymont, Delaware, a little steel town that went under. And watching towns and cities come back, this is a great city. Not a town, it's a great city. It always happens for real, one neighborhood at a time. It's about building confidence. And so I am, and I know I don't want this to sound like a mutual admiration society, but you know, I've been doing this a long while. And you can tell when you meet the real deal, and you can tell when you meet the guys who are just sort of temporarily stopping on the way to go somewhere else. This guy, your mayor, is the real deal.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
No, I really mean it. I really mean it. I really mean it. I work an awful lot with the mayors and governors, and when I came out here, I came out because of Jimmy, because of President Hoffa, because today I was asked to come out and had the great honor of addressing the Labor Day rally and the parade. And but the mayor never misses a beat every time I come out. He literally takes me to a different neighborhood. Not a joke. A different neighborhood. Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's going by a coffee shop, whether it's stopping and just getting out of the car and talking to folks in the neighborhoods, I don't know. But the thing I've seen coming in and out of Detroit for the last 40 years, from the time I was a kid in the U.S. Senate, I see a different look on people's faces now. There's a sense of expectation, even in some of the down and out neighborhoods, the ones that are still really down and out. There's a sense of expectation. There's a sense that you can feel it. Now, I don't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but there really is. It matters. It matters. Cities are organic things, man. They're organic. And they have to work. There has to be part of it. You have to have a feel. But the first and most important thing is, and I'm not doing this because he's here, but you got to have a mayor who really believes.
That's right.
But beyond believing, you got to have somebody who's really smart. And this guy gets it. And so when I said after the parade that I have a little bit of time before I have to get back to Washington, he said, surprise, surprise. He said, I know, I got a place I want to take you. I want to take you. I'm taking you to the neighborhoods that are just down and out and dangerous and burnout. She said, I want to take you to the places that we're saving. And the saving, because when you save them, they're going to spread. Right, Madam President? They're going to spread because it gets infectious. You know, these infections work both ways, man. When things start to go bad, they have a tendency of everybody thinking it's all sliding downhill. It's about an attitude. When things start to go well, people pick up their game. People don't expect to pick up their game, And so I couldn't get over as I drove through the neighborhood. You know, I have a son who's an attorney general in the state of Delaware. Got another son who has did a lot of work in a thing called the Jesuit Volunteer Corps as a lawyer, and now runs the largest the food program in the world, the World Food Program USA. He's the chairman of it. And I got a daughter who spends her time back in the old neighborhoods I grew up in. She's a clinical social worker who runs a program for at-risk youth. And she's back in the neighborhood. I get these phone calls from her all the time. She goes, Daddy, my people think that. I said, what do you mean your people? I said, my people too, the same old neighborhood. Well, no, Daddy, they still love you, Daddy, but we're not getting enough of, whatever. The point is that I think that I wish everybody could see this backyard. No, I really mean it. Well, the press is here, thankfully. Now, I hope not taking a picture of me, but taking a picture of the backyard. Taking a picture of the neighborhood. I mean, you walk in this house, and, now there's a new, when things fall a long way, there's a shorter way back up because, imagine, and some of you may be part of it, but imagine being a younger couple or somebody who's husband and wife have a job and they're making, a total of 60, 70,000, not much a year. And they got a chance to come in here and pick up, I look some of these homes. Obviously, there's some that are in the 60, 70 range, but there's some that are in the teens. And the ability to take structures like these here and own it and invest in it. One of the things that we kind of have an ongoing fight about, and I'll end with this, is that I have a lot of friends in both parties. If you notice, whenever there's a problem the administration has up on Capitol Hill, I get sent up because I'm used to working for these guys, and I have many Republican friends and Democratic friends. But there's this sort of ain't your father's Republican Party. It's a little bit different right now, things that are going on. And here's the debate, and here's what I mean. It's not about politics, it's about the attempt to change an attitude. When I grew up in a neighborhood not unlike this in Green Ridge, Pennsylvania, I could take you down the streets of Scranton. This looks like North Washington Avenue, where, by the way, Governor Casey was from, and Bobby Casey, and, home is probably 3,000 square feet, and these are much nicer, a clapboard home, but a clean, decent neighborhood. And my dad, used to talk about a job being a lot more than about a paycheck. A job was about your place in the community. It was about your dignity. It's about your dignity. And so many people got hurt so bad, not just in the recession, but leading up to the recession, for some time now, that they began to lose a little bit of hope. But one of the things that I've always said is, the middle class, and I characterize this as the middle class neighborhood. The middle class is not a number. My economist that work for me will say middle class is 51,250 or is it 56,400. It's not a number. It's a value set. To be middle class is to be able to own your home, not rent it. To be middle class is to be able to send your kid to a school that if in fact they do well, they got a shot to get to college. And if they get to college, you got a shot to get them in. You got a way to figure out how to get them in. And maybe in the meantime, take care of your geriatric parents if they're in trouble. Mom, dad dies, you'd be able to take the other one home. And just be able to save enough that you hope your kids never have to take care of you. That's middle class. And I've been talking about that for a long time. Now I'm being told by the experts, the pollsters, and you see it in the national polls, the middle class no longer has those dreams. That people don't want to own their homes because they're afraid of the burden, they just as soon rent. That you have 51% of American people saying, I'm not sure I want my kid to go to college because they can't afford it. The list goes on. Well, that's not what they want. That's what's been imposed on them. They still dream, man. They still dream about being able to do the things that I mentioned. I don't know anybody who wants to, if they get a chance to own their home or rent their home, to raise a family. They want to own their home. They want to be able to send their kid to a decent school. They want to be able to, have you ever met anybody, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I've traveled all over the world. Have you ever met anybody, whether they're in a barrio or in a slum or in a wealthy neighborhood, doesn't want their kid to go to college? Have you ever met anybody who doesn't dream that maybe my kid's going to do better than I did? So folks, what you do is I know this sounds strange, but what's happening here and happening in other cities is keeping that dream alive again. Making people believe, guess what, you can do this again. The fact you got kicked in the teeth and got knocked down so hard by this recession doesn't mean things have permanently changed. The American people have not changed. I don't believe for a second, I refuse to believe this new normal. It is a new abnormal. And it's got to change. And it can change. And so the reason why, you probably have people that the mayor's bringing through, or your your association president talks about, and they're coming through, and you probably wonder, why the hell is everybody so interested? You're proving. You're proving the new normal is not the normal. This is normal. This is normal. This can be normal again. This is what people want. And it's never, ever, 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 ever been a good bet to bet against the American people. They have never, ever let their country down. We got a hell of a lot more to do, man. Got a hell of a lot more to do. You got to make sure that instead of just getting the money, like, you know, we get very criticized. The reason we keep suing the big banks did bad things, man. They did bad things rather than
Right.
The reason we're continuing to fight for a more equitable tax structure, it makes a difference where you can live and what your take-home pay is and what your income is. It matters. I'll conclude. We're not talking about reinventing the wheel. This isn't anything new. All you got to go back is to what the old normal used to be. The old normal, 25 years ago. The old normal was pretty normal. We don't have to invent a new one. We just have to go back and rebalance this outfit. We just got to go back and put a little more balance back in. You know, like I said, wealthy people are as patriotic as poor folks, by the way, folks. But I don't know any reason why a hedge fund manager making $200 million a year should pay a tax rate of 15%, while a guy or a woman working at General Motors making $55,000 pays at 28%.
Right.
Something's gone wrong, man. Something's changed. So we got to change it back. This is a start. And I tell you, I can't imagine what it is for somebody who has thought maybe there was no way back, coming through this neighborhood, and maybe bidding on one of those homes.
Right.
Being able to join. So thank you for what you're doing. But like I said, it's one neighborhood at a time. It's one household at a time. It's one city at a time. But America's back, guys. And I'm proud to work with this mayor. I'm proud to work with you.
Right.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice President, if you could, I'd like to bring greetings from my partner in all that we're doing, Council President Brenda Jones.
Yay.
You know, I cannot follow the Vice President of the United States, so I'm just going to say thank you for being here. You know, it has been truly a joy just coming into the neighborhood with the dream that we've had and with this mayor who is making these dreams possible, to see East English Village do the things that they're doing over here in the auction, the Detroit auction. So I thank you, Mr. Vice President. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, all of Detroit citizens, for everything you do, because without you all, we could not do the things that we do. So I say thank you to you all on this Labor Day, and truly, truly, my partner, thank you for everything you have done in the 9 years I've been here. I have not seen so many things accomplished like the things that this mayor has accomplished. So thank you, Vice
I want to know
President.
one thing. Does the brass quartet come along with the house?
Yeah.
Only this one.
Thank you to the host. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.